words at each of the readings, and to be honest, they won't be very exegetical. I chose the readings for a very particular reason. When I was first going through therapy for my period of depression, one of the things the doctor told me about me is that I'm very apprehensive about beginning things, and I'm very glad to see them completed well. I get more pleasure out of seeing something over than something beginning. And it's almost, a lot of people have asked me if I'm excited about going to San Luis Obispo. It's a new beginning. The answer is no. Am I happy about having finished here? The answer to that is yes. I am, because of the way that things went. But I'll tell you, when I was first coming to the idea of being a priest, I'd always wanted to be a priest. But when I entered the seminary, a very specific thing that was going on that many of you may well remember or have heard about was the number of priests who were leaving. And it was a terrible scandal in the church. And it really was shaking the faith of individuals. And the great terror in my life was I would ever hurt the church. It's hard for me even to express how I feel about the church as a community. And that caused me a great caution. And after I was ordained, that was the thing I was most worried about. And like many of you, I watched many members of my family sort of cease practice. Very few have ever converted to anything else, but they're very uninvolved with the church now. And it was a very difficult thing that ever I would somehow contribute to that. I remember a story. I was having dinner one time when I was an associate at Pacific Grove, and Bishop Clinch came over to dinner, and my mother was there on a visit. And while I was helping Joe Steger do something in the kitchen, my mother confided to the bishop about this fear, because I'd mentioned it to my family. And the bishop told my mother, he said, you know, I have a better chance of leaving than he does. I wouldn't worry about it. So, but about the time that began to resolve itself, then the sexual scandals began. And I have several close friends who were involved in that very innocently, and people who were proven innocent in court, whose lives have been ruined. They can never function again or anything. So I lived in terror of that. And I'm very, very happy that I was able to complete my time as pastor in places without being touched by those things. And I understand it's due to luck and prayers. It has nothing to do with, you know, the individual. So I'm very, very happy about that. The second reading I really like because it gives the idea of a continuity in a parish. It's very interesting to me the number of people who come up to me and tell me how much I will be missed and all this sort of thing in leaving. But I also remember when I came here, I remember the great sadness of the leaving of Vic Farrell. The idea that, you know, he was such a good pastor and all this sort of thing. I don't know how long many of you have been in this parish. The people who've been here a long time, and the one I most remember is Rena Tunzi, who was here right from the beginning of the parish. But one of the things is you have a history of great pastors in this parish. Like you can go right down the list. They have been consistently very good pastors. And you have to know that isn't just because of the priests that come here. It has to do with the way the community interacts with the priests. You actually, as a community, demand the best of the priests. You set a very high bar in this parish, and priests respond to that. The other thing is you're powerfully supportive of priests in the types of things they go about doing. I'm sure, you know, if you were to take anything that I've done in the parish, some people like it, some people don't, but I hear nothing but support. And Vic Farrell told me the same thing in coming to the parish. You need to understand the hand you have in the priests you have had. You think somehow by luck you end up with these people. In many ways, you have actually created these people. And you need to understand that as a parish. It is one of the great gifts you have, what you draw out of the leaders that come here. And I will be indebted to you for that for all eternity. I have no doubt that when I enter everlasting life, one of my proudest boasts will be that I was a member of St. Joseph's in Spreckle.